I went completely blind from my stepmom.
Some stepmothers are worse than devil. This girl is now completely blind because of what her stepmother did to her after the death of her biological mother, and when narrating her story, Brekete family now decided to do this to the stepmother immediately.
She has to be arrested. Una support me to arrest this woman. Una support me to arrest this woman.
Sir.
Thank you.
But you won't believe what she did to stop Brekete family from arresting the stepmom and her reasons. Watch as she narrates her story to the end and share your thoughts on the comment section.
Is your mom still alive?
No, sir, she's late.
How are you sure?
I saw her pictures, and I think growing up, I met one of her brother that actually confirmed it that she's late. And I can recall I was quite young, but I can recall when I went for a burial, sir.
Okay. How old are you now, man?
I'm 20, by next month I'll be 21, sir.
Tell us what brought you here, man.
Okay, so it all started after I lost my mom, 2004.
Okay.
And 2 years after, my dad got married to another woman. Before their marriage, she came to the house, that is my stepmom, came to the house and realized that she pretended to be nice to me. And at that point, I was just 6 years old, and that care and love of having a mother again. I was so happy of having another mother. 3 months into the wedding, into the marriage, my treatment started. She started by beating me up until they said that she broke my head. So neighbors around, because we still lived in the area where my biological mom died. So neighbors in the area became angry and took her to the police station, where she was locked up. When my dad came back in the evening, he went and secured her release. When she came back home, she pleaded with me and said, and promised to be nice.
What tribe is she?
She's Bagi, sir.
What is her name?
Her name is Ladi, sir.
How many children does she have for your father now?
She had 3, but 1 is late, so just 2 remaining now.
Boys and girls?
Two
A boy
boys.
and girl? 2 boys.
Yes, the girl is late.
Okay, continue. What did you do that made her beat you to the extent of breaking your head? Could you recall that?
She only asked me to sweep the house very early in the morning before she left. I
At
think
the
it was
age of 8?
6, sir.
6.
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
So when I was sweeping the house, I mistakenly sweep one of the ear of her earring away, and she started beating me immediately that she can't find her earring. And at that point, she shot me. The painful part was she asked me to stay inside. I should not show my face outside. And whoever asked me what happened to me, I should tell the person that I hit my head somewhere. So when neighbors came and they asked, there was no how I could pretend. I started crying at the spot, and they actually knew that something is wrong. So I need to open up because I was going through pain. And that was when they actually looked for her and took her to the police station.
Okay.
So after that incident, she promised to be faithful and she started beating me up again. So whenever I report to my dad what happened, they usually have quarrel in the house and to fight. So I decided to start keeping things to myself because I don't want to be the person creating fight between my dad and my stepmom when they are just newly married. So since then, whatever she did to me, I get to keep it to myself. When my dad comes, I try my best to pretend, but still my dad can still read it from my face that something went wrong. So then I will pretend to do pretend to smile when I'm not happy and pretend to be happy when I'm very, very sad. So it continued like that, and whenever she gets with me, she hits me on the sensitive part of my body, like my eyes, my chest, my stomach, my nose. So they said that at times I get bleed, then get to hide myself and clean up myself. But I promised that I was not going to tell my dad because I don't want issues to come up in the house. So because of the stress from the neighbors and everyone just looking up to her, they understand that my mood changed. My dad has to pack from the environment. It's a different environment.
Una neighbors no con they happy with the family again.
Yes, sir.
Because these na neighbors wey sabi when your mother dey alive.
Yes, sir.
How caring she was.
Yes,
Now they call say after she died, they bring this woman, she come they beat you. In fact, the first time said now when she break your head, 9 neighbors gathered. These na good neighbors. Let's appreciate such neighbors. Now, these na neighbors we know the fear everything go follow.
Yes, sir. So we moved to a different environment where I knew no one, and the case became worse. So at that point, I have to think of a way out to save myself. I decided to start running from the house. I was between age 9 and 10. So at times I did run away from the house, get to sleep in the market square, or get to sleep in uncompleted building, just to run away from my stepmom. So when my dad comes back, he has to look for me, plead with me to come back to the house, and get to have issues with my stepmom.
Why you no pursue the woman? Now by force to marry. Now by force to marry. Okay, continue.
So at that point, when I started running away from the house, my stepmom took me to a prayer house where they confirmed that I was a witch and said I was one with my biological mom, and I'm deaf her also. So that was when the case became worse and the beating.
Now this time around, you be like say your father can't join her. Believe waiting the people talk. Now which prayer house they carry you go?
I can't really remember, but the place was in Masakasa where we were staying before.
Okay.
So that was it. The beating became serious until when I developed eye problem. So when it just started very little. It wasn't that serious. The eyes just became red, and my dad wasn't around during that period.
Now as a result of hit which they hit you for eye, now the eye begin develop problem, abi?
Yes, sir. After the last incident, when my dad witnessed it himself, he corrected her and said, "How is she hitting me now? I fall down and I died. What is she going to say?" And him is scared of my biological mom family. I think they are not in good times because after my mom died, I don't think they have any relationship anymore. He was like, if anything happened to me, what is he going to say to my biological mom family? Then after that incident, that was when my eyes became red. And my dad wasn't around during that period. she started using all kind of things for my eye, like cigarettes, the brown part of cigarettes.
Into your eyes?
Yes, sir.
And it was painful, Abi?
It was very painful. It wasn't even working. It was worsening the situation of my eyes.
This woman still there alive?
Yes, sir. She's still alive, sir.
She has to be arrested. So continue.
So immediately my dad came back. He met me at that stage.
Una support me to arrest this woman? Una support me to arrest this woman?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Continue.
So when my dad came back, he met me at that condition. He quickly rushed me to a clinic and bought eye drugs for me. So after eating it for some while, my eye cleared up. And my dad, I think he traveled, I can't really remember. Then my eye swelled up, my right eye got swollen. She actually still did not take me to any clinic. She started doing her self-treatment, using hot water to press the eye and applying rub on the eyes. I will cry, ask for help. She will lock me up inside the house. I had no choice but just to bear it, because I decided I'm going to bear anything I'm going to face from my stepmom. So after that, I think my dad came back again and met me at last point, and he took the matter serious. That was when my vision started going low. So I had to stop going to school. I stayed at home. That was around 2010 to 2011. So I started going to the church, living through church at Goshen, where I met some teachers. They noticed that I do stretch my eye to read in the class and in the Sunday school class. So when they noticed that, they drew my attention because they tried to ask me if anything is wrong with my eyes. Because I was scared of sharing my story to anyone, I decided to hide it from them. I told them I'm fine and I'm okay. But they keep on pressing until I have no choice. I have to open up to them, and I told them this is actually what I'm going through. And they said they're going to look for my family, they look for my dad. And after meeting with my dad, they decided to take me for eye surgery 2012.
The hospital took you for eye surgery?
Church.
The church?
Yes, sir.
The name of the church?
Living Faith Church.
Please,
sir.
let's appreciate Living Faith Church. If churches, they do like this, your tithe, if you get extra money, add on top. Your offering, if they come around 20 times and you can afford, give the church. Because this is giving back to the people, and by extension, giving back to God Almighty. This one, we are sure, is going back to God. Continue, my dear, continue.
Okay, sir. After my surgery, it was a successful one. I came back home. I did only the one eye, that was the left eye. And my stepmom was together with me throughout my admission period in the hospital. So immediately I regained my sight. The first day I opened my eyes and I was able to see, she was the one that cried out, that attracted the doctor and the nurses in the hospital. So deep down in my heart, I thought she was a changed person. And she was so happy with tears on her eyes. So I felt she was going to be a changed person. 2 weeks after the surgery, sir, my stepmom hit me on the eyes that they were
My dear, sorry. Please, sorry. Please, try summon courage. Continue, man, please.
And then I had no one to open up to. I decided to keep it to myself, sir. I lost the sight completely. I went completely blind. But I keep on pretending, just so no one to notice. Because my dad had relocated us to another environment.
Again?
Just because of my stepmom. So I decided to keep it to myself.
You relocate una to another place the second time, abi that same place where after the place where your mama been they live with una, that place where una go, abi another place again.
Another place. We even left the environment. My father left where we stayed when my biological mom died, and still relocated to another place in that same massacre. When everything became serious, we packed out our
Okay, other neighbors come begin they notice again.
Yes,
this second place where una go again.
Yes, immediately my sight issue started because there in massacre, I think my mom family are there. Then my biological mom family are there. His own family members are there. At that point, when I was running away from the house, I do go to my dad, people that knows my dad from the same place. So just to keep that shame and everything away, we relocate to Outer Baliki where I know no one, and no one to report to, no one to run to them. So she had no opportunity of getting to maltreat me. So immediately she hit me on the eyes and I lost my sight completely. I felt bad because I was already feeling happy that at least I'll be able to accomplish my goal in life with my sight. Because at that point, I actually don't know that people with visual impairment do go to school. So immediately after my surgery, going to school was the next thing in my mind. But after she did that, all hope was lost, sir. But I still kept it to myself. After 2 weeks, the eyes became clear. I promised myself not to tell anyone because I said I was going to keep everything to myself. Even my dad, I'm not going to tell him whatever I'm going through. I want the day that I'm going to leave the house, get my own place and start my own life. That is when I'm going to tell my dad my experience. But I still staying in that house, able to not to cause issues with my stepmom and neighbors or my stepmom and my father. I decided to keep things to myself. And after that period of time, sir, the treatment continued. My dad was nice at that point because almost every 2 weeks we do go back to the hospital where I had my surgery. My church members were there. 2013, sir, I felt and I believed that my sight was already getting okay and I can manage myself to school. My stepmother hit me on the very eye. And that was when the eye got affected. The lenses that was assisting the eye to see was affected. The vision went very low. At that point, I have to open up to my dad and my church members. They became so angry and took me back to the hospital where I did my eye surgery. And they said at that point, they don't think they can touch the eye because the lenses has been affected. That was around 2013, November, December. Early 2014, my church members had to look for a way out because they noticed that I had so much passion for school. I can do anything, because that's my dreams was to become a medical doctor, sir. Just to help out the health condition of my country then, because my mom died of a very serious illness. And I said to myself that maybe so many family have gone through that, and being an only child, I was going to put my strengths of becoming a medical doctor, sir. But losing my sight was another thing. It actually destroyed all my plans, and I felt there was nothing for me to do again in this life. Taking my life at that point was the next thing. But I decided to cool down and look for a way out. Faithfully, I want to thank God that my church members stepped in at that point and took me to school for the blind Jabi, sir. 2014, I did my rehabilitation for 1 year, and 2015, I joined the primary 6 students, and 2016 years, I spent 2 years in school for the blind Jabi. The next way forward was to go back to secondary school, because I only finished primary school before my sight issue started. At that point, 2014, when I left home for school for the blind Jabi, after the section, because the boarding school, it was my church members that came to pick me. And I asked them about my father and my stepmom. They asked me to cool down. They took me to their house, one of them, house to go and stay, and I keep on asking, what about my stepmom and my dad? They have no choice than to open up. They said my stepmom and my dad are no longer together, and they can't find my dad. 2014. I became so worried. I became so concerned. They said they only know the whereabouts of my stepmom and her own children, but she's no longer together with my dad, so they're not going to release me to my stepmom for any reason. So I continued staying with them. One of them took up the responsibility of sending me to school and said, from now until I find my family, I'll stay together with her. So I was together with my church member from 2014.
May I know that woman's name?
Her name is Mrs. Alade, sir.
May God Almighty in heaven bless Mrs. Alade and all the people that have assisted you. Please, let's put our hands together for Mrs. Alade. Continue.
And that was when I started another new journey of life. I said, so far I can accomplish my goal of becoming a medical doctor, I have to look for something else to do that is going to touch the life of people. And I noticed I had so much passion for radio, and I started thinking of what next to do, because I always think about the solution I want to bring to my country because of the love I have for my country, sir. And the next thing I thought of was not allowing this mistake that's happened in my life to repeat in the life of so many children. And I said I wanted to become a broadcaster so I can have a program where I can get to educate both parents, youth, and children not to go through the same situation as me. So I continue with my education. 2016, I went to government secondary school, Kwalisa, where they do admit people with visual impairment as one of their students. I went there till 2020, last year, and I told myself, it's time for me to go and look for my dad wherever he is in this earth. I must go and look for my dad. I must go and look for my stepmom. Not to file any case with them, but just to tell them that that girl that they left so many years ago has actually forgiven them. And I want to move on with my life and have a better life.